Yes, that's JOEBILINE here, and today we're going to be talking about icons. So icons have entered FIFA Mobile now. Obviously we had them last year and whatnot. We had the SBCs and we had that way at the start, which was made icons very easy to get and kind of devalued them. But it was fun, they were inclusive, and now they've launched this year. And to start with, well, I say start with and hope that that there'll be more to icons than just what they are now. But I'm sure you've seen in the store, they're store only. 2,000 FIFA points or 5,000 gems. Don't spend your gems on them. Don't. It's not worth it. Save your gems up until something comes of worth. Just store your gems. You shouldn't have spent any gems yet, in my opinion, if you're free to play. I'm not. I'm saving my gems up. But you open an icon pack, and in an icon pack, there's an elite player and icon points between 25 to 200. And a chance at a specific icon point. Obviously, the odds here, you're always going to get the elite, and then more often than not, you're going to potentially get the 25 icon points. But there is that chance of getting more once you've got enough icon points. So they've launched 5 now. We don't know if they'll rotate. Because it says limited time, but I can't. There's no timers on it, so it's like, are they only here for the weekend? And icons will only be available at the weekend and they go. Should they be an icon pack store, like a tab for just icons? But essentially, you either get a specific icon point, or you get the icon points, the general ones, and then you can spend them on an icon, which are varying amounts, or just the one specific one. Like Figo's 1,000 for an 89 right wing, whereas Littman is 350 for an 85 cam. But them, so yeah, they're just packs only, and it's paid packs or gems. Don't spend gems on them. Hopefully, we see something come in the future, and it's just like, okay, they're paywall at the moment only for the people who want to get them straight away, and hopefully we get to see, maybe they'll appear in events, maybe they'll be in SBCs, maybe they'll do an actual icon event later down the line, because we have seen other stuff in the game before come initially as pay only. And then after a while, they're easier to get. Maybe there'll be rewards as part of events. We'll have to see with that. And obviously we'll have to see when more icons get released. But it's just these 5 for now. But the main interesting thing, and I was under the assumption that it wasn't allowed under licensing. And that was why Console had always done it with the Icon Club. And last year we had the Icon Club. But this year, so we'll jump to Littman first. Their clubs, they've got the icon badge because that's what program it is, but they've been given one of their former clubs as the club they're at. They're not at the icon club, they're at a former club. And I was under the assumption that this wasn't allowed, and that's why, well, anyway, the console method's better because icons link to every player. So you can sort of use icon in any position, it will link to what you play. So it's cool, icons are super useful, especially those icons from lesser nations. I guess like Littman, for example, with Finland. There's not many Finland players in the game. There's not many high-rated ones. So Littman, you get Littman, and for chemistry-wise, you've got to put him either in a Finland squad or an Ajax squad, an Eredivisie squad. And Eredivisie, being in an Eredivisie not next to Ajax players, isn't going to be much. It's only one chemistry to Eredivisie players. Yeah, I don't even know if it's allowed for licensing reasons. I guess it must be because they've done it. Do they not? I don't know. It's weird. I'm like, why have they done this? But yeah, so basically for certain players it makes them like laymen. And then obviously you've also got the other argument of what club should the icon be at. Littman was at Ajax, which yeah, I think if everyone said Littman, who's he most known to being at, you'd say Ajax. He obviously played for a lot of clubs, Barca, Liverpool, Malmo, Fulham. Actually, he played Fulham, but I don't think he ever played a game. But not for many. Littman, most of his career was at Ajax. So yeah, Littman's understandable there. Lehmann, however, is at Schalke. Now, he was at Schalke for 10 years, and he got his most appearances at Schalke, 274 appearances over that 10-year period between 88 to 1998. But obviously, he also had quite a good few years at Dortmund, and then Arsenal, obviously, between 03 to 08, where he's part of the Invincibles, most consecutive clean sheets in the Champions League with Arsenal. Lehmann's one of them ones, but obviously he was at Schalke for 10 years, 300 odd appearances in all competitions. And that would have been when he won the goalkeeper of the year. Actually, he got goalkeeper of the year while at Schalke and while at Arsenal. So you're thinking, okay, they're just going on wherever the most appearances were at. And if that is, then I guess just that makes most sense. You do it whoever had the most appearances at a place. But then obviously we'll come back to last one. Desailly, you're thinking, okay, they've gone with Milan for Desailly. And if you're looking at Milan, Desailly, he was at Milan from 93 to 98, and then he was at Chelsea from 98 to 2004. And he made more appearances for Chelsea than he did at Milan. I guess you could say. But then obviously he was at Marseille for a year or so. But obviously Milan or Chelsea, where do you put Desailly? Because he had big careers at both of them, very similar, and you'd probably edge towards Chelsea maybe, because he had more appearances there if you go under that rule. He did win the Champions League while he was at Milan though. So it's like, what rules are they going under? Larson, obviously you'd expect him to be at Celtic. I think everyone would say Celtic for Larson. I know I would. Obviously he did make appearances. He was at like Barcelona, he was only there 2 years. Feyenoord, he was there for quite a few years, but he was younger when he was at Feyenoord. Celtic's definitely where he was the highest of profile, scoring the most goals. But obviously it goes back to this chem stuff. There's not going to be many people in the game who have a Swedish... They may have a Celtic side, because Celtic are quite a popular club, or a Swedish side, but it's just stupid that icons basically when they link with the country or the club that EA's chosen. Figo obviously is a controversial one. They've gone with Madrid for Figo, and that's probably the correct decision, because obviously he was at Barcelona and Madrid for about the same amount of time, 5 years with each. I suppose he was at Sporting for 6 when he started his career. Then he was at Inter Milan for 4 years. Obviously after he left Barcelona for Madrid, all the Barcelona fans turned on him and he had the pig head thrown at him. So yeah, Figo probably choosing Madrid is the right option, because I don't think Barcelona fans don't exactly like Figo. Obviously he left on bad grounds. So Madrid's the safest one, but it's just all this. Why have the EA team decided to put the icons at one former club, especially when there's so many disputable ones? And then that's not even getting on to the fact that when Pele comes, Pele played for Santos in Brazil, not in the game, and New York Cosmos, who aren't in the game. What club are they going to put Pele at? Do the devs know enough? Are they going to assume that New York City are a follow-up to New York Cosmos, which they're not, and put him at New York Cosmos and put him at New York City? I'd laugh if that happened. It's just weird. Like, what are they going to do for those players that aren't at clubs anymore? And I don't get it. Why could they not just do it like they do on console, and an icon links to anyone? Because there are a handful of icons that are at nations that aren't that popular or don't have many. Is George Weah still an icon, or did he never be an icon? Was it only when they were doing Legends? Is George Weah back this year? George Weah's not back this year. Because obviously he's Liberian. Liberian. George Weah. Am I saying the right country? He's Liberian, isn't he? Liberia, yeah, I knew it was in my head. Libya's a different place. Libya's a different place to Liberia, yeah. Libya's in North Africa. Liberia is obviously, never eat shredded wheat. West Africa, isn't it? Middle West Africa, on the coast. I've lost my head there. But yeah, getting to the point, I just don't get it. There's not much to worry about icons for the most of us now anyway. If we're not paying this year, we can just ignore them until they do appear, and if they do, it's going to have to be specific, because linking it only to the club that EA decided of their former clubs is just a little bit pointless. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm not opening icon packs, I've got no interest in them, they're not going to fit into my team. I mean, I guess Figo kind of could, but no, I'm not interested. I'm not paying that much, risking that much. They're not cheap. We'll just have to see what the future brings for them and see what happens about them in the future chemistry, because it's just pointless, and I think it will put players off. I think it will put spenders off wanting to get the icons. But we'll have to see. So do leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new here. Come follow me on Twitter at joebilineHD. And I'll see you all later. Peace.
But behind closed doors, I'm a fool for